Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make is a skillet pineapple upside down cake. So let's get started. First, you're going to need either a 9-inch or a 10-inch skillet pan, as I have. I went ahead and I melted a 1/4 cup of butter. If you don't have butter, you can go ahead, use margarine, and melt that in your pan. Now, once you do that, what you're going to do is that you're going to need, of course, pineapple. And generally, if you're using pineapple in heavy syrup, your cake will taste sweeter. I'm particularly using pineapple in its own juice, but go ahead and use the heavy syrup one if you especially want a sweeter cake. And what I'm going to do next is put a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar into my my butter, my melted butter in my pan, in my skillet, and just stir it around. And then I'm also going to put a 1/3 cup of brown sugar in that. And again, just bring it all together into my pan. Okay. All right, now once you do that, you're going to start putting, of course, your pineapple slices down into the pan. And I'll show you in a second here what I've got. Okay. Now the middle one on this pan is a little bit small, so I'm just going to cut that pineapple and put it in like that, okay? So you can see them, okay? And then I have 16 halves of Maraschino red sweet cherries. So that was 8, but of course you're cutting them in half, so you'll get 16 out of those. Okay, and then arrange the cherries, of course, inside the pineapple rings, and then put them on the ends of the cake. I like to really put the cherries wherever I can, you know, fit them in, basically. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so they'll look like that. Okay, and we'll set that aside for the moment. And now, of course, we need to make our cake batter. So I want to bring my mixer over here. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to need 1 cup of flour, and I'm going to just put that into my mixing bowl. Okay, that was 1 cup. I'm also going to be putting in 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar into my flour, and just stir it together. I'm also going to be putting in 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons, and I'm going to be putting in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm just going to stir that all together. The next thing that I'm going to be putting in is shortening, and I'm going to put 1/4 cup of shortening into my flour. Okay, and then just start beating that in. Now, what I do want to tell you though is you'll want to reserve at least 1/2 cup of the liquid, of the juice or the syrup. And then I'm just going to add a little at a time. I'm hold off for a second, and I'm going to put in 1 egg that I've had at room temperature. And I'm going to start to beat that in, and then put the rest of my pineapple liquid. And then what you'll want to do is to beat it for at least 2 to 4 minutes till it's very, very nice and smooth. I'm going to move it along due to the video at a higher speed. It's going to get a little loud. Okay. And now I'm just going to quickly take out my paddle and the excess here. Okay. And I'll lay that aside. Then we're going to bring our skillet back over. And then I'll just bring everything together, make sure that the sides and the bottom of my mixing bowl, everything's combined. And then very quickly, and it's such an easy cake, we're just going to pour, of course, the batter over the top. We want to try to make it as even as possible. And then just smooth everything over the top. I like to make sure that I get the batter all into the sides of the skillet with the cake batter. Okay. Now you're going to bake this cake at 350 degrees, and it generally takes anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. It actually does take me, in my oven, the whole 40. But as we realize, all ovens set up so differently, so do start, checking on it early. And then use a cake tester or a toothpick to the center of the cake to make sure that when you pull that tester or toothpick out, that it's dry and that the cake is thoroughly baked. I want to get the rest of this batter all out of here, so I'm going to grab a knife here to do that and take it off my spatula here. Okay, and then I'm just going to make sure that all the edges are covered. Okay, and once again, 350. I'm going to put this in a preheated oven. Okay, when it comes out, what you should do, and I like to do, is place your hot skillet on a cooling rack for about 5 minutes, and then take a knife and start, just going into all the sides to start the cake to pull away after about 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, then I would, invert it, of course, on a plate, turn it upside down, and you will have your skillet pineapple upside down cake. This particular cake, I think, tastes better when it's warm. Not hot so much, but warm. And once you bake it up, it will come out and look like this. It really bakes up very pretty. The pineapple have a nice glaze on it and that type of thing. So I'll have all the recipe and instructions below the video, so do check that out. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you try this recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment, because I always like to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.